Hello and welcome in this new video. Today we are going to play Nomas Rhy'tan, a Salamander Warlord. So he was buffed recently in a balance patch, which also nerfed a lot of energy manipulation cards. And I think the game is much more slower now, but we're going to focus on this Salamander Warlord. So on his relays he was quite weak, but now I think it could be meta. I'm not sure he's better than Vulkan, because Vulkan is probably still he's still the best Salamander Warlord. Like, any other can really match him because he has 45 HP or more, a useful ability. It's not really the case for other Warlords, or they simply have 5 HP less in general, and their ability is okay, but they do more or less the same job. But now Nomas has something to go with him that Vulkan doesn't have, so his new passive. When you play Teaching, gain +1/0 and frontline until your next turn. So before it was on ability, so it was quite random and not really efficient. But now we can choose when we want to protect our troops. We are not going to use a lot of Teaching because there are like 5 of them, I think. So 10 copies max. And 2 are not really good. At least one is not really good and the other is really specific and not really useful in this kind of deck I'm going to present. So we are going to use Devotion, Up, and Benevolence, which are the more classical one. And the passive is mostly strong with Devotion because we are going to protect the 2 Socars Hunters it spawns. And before it could be traded by Warlords or quite easily with an AoE. Now we are pretty sure they're going to survive at least one turn, so we're going to take good trades and start taking the board. And in general, his ability is really good for one thing, it's retaking the board, because our troops are really bad from behind in general. Like, we have Epistolary Ra'stan, which is an excellent card, but it's easy to trade when you have the board for it. And now you can protect it from attacks on the board, and that's really strong. Salamander also got new cards, but we are not going to use a lot. We have Disciple of the Flames, so a new 4 energy drops, which is really good. It's like 4 attacks, 5 HP for 4 energy. It's not bad, the sacrifice is also okay. And we have Deathfire, which is going to be insane because it's going to bring a lot of value and recycle good troops. So for only 2 more cards we can play several Roshan, several Epistolary Ra'stan, which are the powerhouses of most Salamanders deck. And so we are going to use Nomus Rhy'tan like a mid-range deck. So like we can see with the curve, it's relatively low, but we are able to do a lot of damage fast. That's why we're also going to play a lot of tactics. We need AoE. And we have Void Engagement, and we are going to counter all the tactics with Orbital Combat. Also, a thing important to note is that we have troops on tactics, so that are spawned by tactics, Deathfire and Devotion, like presented before. And that's actually really great in this kind of synergy to get some damage from Void Engagement. And at the same time, with Up, we are going to take more or less the troops we want by reducing the pool. We have also Drach'nyen, which is quite good with the Socars Hunters, Roshan. You can activate Sacrifice, or just take the spot of another troop with Survivor that will probably not be traded because it takes too much time. So we can use that at our advantage. In general, we will not want to have Dak'Lyr or Xavor on the board. I'm not going to play new neutrals. They are out today, but I didn't find any that was really good with this deck, at least in the one I have. There is also Berger for NATO that was buffed with the new 7 energy Imperial Army troop. And so it's a card that could be used in this kind of deck, but I'm not going to use it. So let's start some games. Okay, so correct. So basically now the new meta is mostly Imperial Fists, and Raven Guard. We are not going to fight a lot of other things, I think. I'm going to keep a devotion for sure. Melgator is bad in general against Raven Guard, so I'm not going to keep it. Disciple of the Flames, I'm not going to keep. Only one devotion, I think it's enough.
The flames of war are ablaze.
No mercy!
So we have only one anti-stealth. I don't know if I should play more. I don't think I have a lot of spots in the deck. Maybe actually Storm Eagle could go for one more Informant Network. But it's not really a card I really want in this kind of deck. We want to be aggressive, we don't want death weight in our deck. Okay, so he played Mission too. So it's really standard. Numeon Squad is a bit less standard. I don't think I'm going to face bash because of the 3 attack, but without it I think I will not face bash. Because especially if you get something like Raven's Talent, it's going to do the difference of HP really fast. So here we're really just going to keep playing the curve. Hope he doesn't do a good Shadow Killers or something like that. The big problem here with my starting end is that I have no Orbital Combat that can block his turn in general. Yeah, I'm going to do Benevolence, I think. So nothing to heal, but at least I take these 2 guys out. And I think I'm going to play Malchial, because here is protected by frontline, so no Javelin, no Scimitar bike to trade it. Alright. I think here we're not going to do anything really spicy. Just take the trade, normal trade. I'm going to use the Chaplain to give survivor ones to adjacent troops. I could have used fight engagement before, I think, but I'm going to use Lord Malchial ability, play Roshan, and Storm Eagle his face. Because here he will not be able to use stealth, so I should be able to do a lot of damage next turn. On another case, in general, when you don't get Roshan turn 1 or turn 2, it can be better to keep him in hand, or at least if you don't have Deathfire. I mean, if you have Deathfire, you can play Roshan, but not in the other sense. The thing is that you can trigger his sacrifice with AoE and do a lot of damage from nowhere, and most people will not expect it. We're going to use Varied Engagement to draw first. Okay, we have the anti-self, this is great. I guess here the best move is probably... I'm not sure actually. I'm going to trade with Roshan here, I think. Maybe actually even Benevolence him. I'm going to draw first. Alright. I'm just going to heal him here. And not even attack with the Epistolary, I think. And that's a great topic. I want to keep him alive. Here I could trade the Scimitar bikes with him, get the sacrifice, but the problem of his move is that behind I had no pressure. I gave him stealth on Corax. It was not really the good plan, I think. No, do I use my Informant Network? No, I'm not sure neither. I think it can be cool here. We are going to do so much damage. going to Benevolence here, I guess. We get some more damage. I could use Melgator on Epistolary and put him in play back. That was also a good move, I think. Drach'nyen was not so good because he could use his ability to get stealth, despite being the big drop. But I decided here to keep Melgator. In another case, I really need something to remove on the board. I think we are not really in the hero because he's already low in HP. We have a lot of damage, and we have even Rhy'tan now. So this kind of combo with Roshan can roll a lot of damage. So in general, Salamander are okay versus Raven God, but as soon as they get Shadow Killers plus something like Curse of the Raven, you will probably lose. That's the problem. Now we are against Pollux. I think it's a bad matchup. The problem with Nomas Rhy'tan or Vulkan at the moment is that they are not really good against the main deck, so Imperial Fist and Raven Gun mostly. They are really strong against Son of Horus, they are really strong against Emperor Children's too, I think, now. But that's not the most important matchup at the moment. So here we're going to go for face. I guess he could use a buff on Fizz, but in this case we just have to use Melgator, I guess. Now we're going to use Epistolary, I guess. At least kill one. Another question with this one is, do I go face or I take the trade? If you use first of the Templars to do value trade, I will have just to Ambassador Melgator even take a trade, so I think the best is to go face, start doing some pressure, put some damage. The worst for me here will be that he use Melgator on Epistolary. Okay, that's not so bad, especially if he uses head like that. Okay. I think we are going to use a good Deathfire here. Oh, maybe I want to have a Roshan on it? No, I don't think. So here we use Deathfire, like that we get back one Epistolary at only 2 energy and we can immediately put back to concurrence. That's why Deathfire is really strong. We have also good ship 2 energy troop, like if we had a Roshan kill too, we would be able to do like a sort of mini host of Angel for only 6 energy, so that's really great. Here we're going to Epistolary Ra'stan, use Benevolence, I guess. I think it's also maybe the moment to use Orbital Combat. We have 1 energy to spare, it's not really the most important matchup for it.
This is not an escape, but an exit.
In this case, if he didn't capitulate it, I think I would have done... I would have go full face actually, not even take the trade because we are so close of lethal. And there was no way he could use his troops to take trades, obviously with the front lines. No tactics with the orbital fight. And if he plays warders, Epistolary Ra'stan will have just destroyed everything with his sacrifice. So here we're going to just keep Chaplain, I guess. I don't think we need that. Ultramarines, I don't know much about the matchup. With Vulkan, so I was playing a deck similar before Nomus was buffed. I lost a lot of Gulliman with Vulkan, but I think here it should be more easy, especially since he played Mission. It means less control but more mid-range, and I think we have better troops in general. And Courage is not so scary for us. Okay, I think here we're going to use Hope. Or maybe Xavier now. I'm not sure. I'm going to use Orbital first, see what's going on. I'm going to use Hope and take a trace. Okay, Melgator not bad. I didn't want to use Xavier because if I use the Chaplain, he could get maybe some good courage. Here and Shay will not trigger it. No, we are more or less back in the same problem than before. But now we can also play Roshan, so I guess we have more pressure. I'm going to go face. Then if he takes a trade here, I guess it's okay. The best trade for him is in Fizz. Even if he uses ability at worst, I will just go with my face later. We should have a good Deathfire once everything of that died. We'll have a really good Deathfire. For now, we'll keep at least Malchial. So we are not going to play that now, I guess. Actually, we could. One Roshan and one Chaplain, it's not so bad. Especially since we are going to play everything on Fiston. Or I wait for more value. The thing is that if I Orbital Combat, I'm not sure to have something else to play. So I think it's better to do that, even if we get only 2 troops on it. Plus, it's really good troops.
This is not a dream.
What scares me also in this matchup is Telok, because we'll not be able to use Xavor, I guess. And for now, it's the only thing we have in the end. Okay, why not? We're going to use Orbital Combat first. Okay, another Roshan. I think I'm not sure if Nourishing Bones is really important here. That's for sure. Now do I Ashen Bones, and like that I keep the Chaplain one more turn alive? Or do I use him for a trade? I think seeing our end, I'm going for the option to actually keep him alive one more turn. Yeah, do I play Roshan because obviously, like I said before, we can use him for AoE and do a lot of damage. But Ultramarines do not have lots of way to deal with so much survivor troops, and we are so far from lethal for now. Especially since they have also a lot of heal, a lot of front lines. So I think we're better but more pressure for now. Okay, that's really annoying. So here I have 2 possibilities. Either I do some turns with Benevolence, like that I can protect my board from any trade, but we don't do anything else. Or I pick Xavor, but if he does Telok, I think I lose. I'm going to take the risk. We didn't draw a lot so far. And even if he uses Miatus, I think it's okay. Plus we could use maybe Benevolence later to get more damage from Roshan or something like that. So I think he doesn't have Stelock. He would have used it already if he had it, because obviously if he gets that with 2 big troops and without my Ashen Bonds, he's pretty sure to win. It's not like I was Vulkan and was able to use Drach'nyen. I don't have the HP for that, and 2 Ashen Bonds is really too much for me. So he used Milatus plus Retribution Strike. I guess that's okay, if we get something to play. Okay, that's not so great. I have no shows in draw here. Okay, void engagement. Okay. I don't really have a choice, I think. Okay, so that's complicated. Maybe I use the Ancient Bonds too early because I was not aggressive enough. I had not the end to kill fast behind. So maybe I should have played slower to get a better Ancient Bonds. If we get second Deathfire, I can maybe try to chase the win. Okay, takes a trade. Actually, that's not so bad for me because we could maybe have a lethal somehow. Okay. Here we're going to have at least a good Volcanic Instability. We're going to take also a lot of damage, but honestly it's just not really important. Okay, let's go. I up. It targets the 3 troops. Okay, nice. I think Devotion at this point will be useless, so I'm going to use it now and go face. I'm going to use that. So here I have later probably on the Roshan Squad. If you use Macrage of Honor in his face, that's great for me because he will probably not do anything else on this turn. Except if somehow he manages also to get the mission with it, so it will be a big problem. But he's not able to heal and deal damage at the same time. Okay, use it face, so except if he has lethal, it's okay. He doesn't. Okay, he's taking a risk to try to take the game. I think that's not stupid. Do I have a lethal? Yes. I think that was smarter than using Macrage on his own face, because he would have just delayed the inevitable at this point, if he had nothing else to play. And here trying to maybe steal the game on going full face, because it was not sure I had lethal, and Sally's salamanders are not known to do a lot of damage from nowhere, which is not the case anymore. No, the best I did was like 20 damage from just the end, with some Roshan plus the 3 energy AoE. So it's wrong now to say that salamanders can do damage fast and early and from nowhere. Okay. So I'm going to keep the Deathfire here. I think Deathguard is not a good matchup. At least Rask is not, because his ability is going to be so annoying. Plus, it's a good player too. I know him, so I know he will not do a lot of mistakes. So we cannot try to steal the game on that. One thing that is great here maybe is that we can protect at one moment Dak'Lyr or Xavor with teaching. Xavor is going to be a bit complicated because he's 8 energy. But Dak'Lyr protected from Rask, that can be really great. The bigger problem I think will be endurance. Okay, he plays poison with Rask, that's not something we see a lot. Plus here it's really good for me because it's actually activate my sacrifice. So we are going to have 2 sacrifice activation this turn, which is pretty neat. And we got again the disciple on Hope. I think that's one of the best rep we can have on it, with probably Dak'Lyr and Ra'stan. Xavor is also okay, but honestly Xavor is just here to replace your Drach'nyen for more late game matchups, because we are not Vulkan and we don't have anything else to play really. But it's still really slow, even if this sacrifice can look impressive, I don't think it's an incredible card. We're going to play Deathfire now. Get more boys on board. Do I keep the Roshan or not here? If he use endurance, I think I'm going to keep it. I'm going to use the counter attack too. We will not get anything else from it anyway. So here, since the matchup is relatively slow, I'm going to keep the Roshan Squad for later with Volcanic Instability or the other card. Okay, Chesolk. I guess here the best. Okay, I'm going to play one Epistolary Devotion. We are going to take the trade with that first to get Survivor 1 on Fizz. And I think I'm not going to use my face, but him at the place. I'm really close of lethal anyway. I don't see how he can kill my board. Reserve is nice here for him, but we just bet more, and even endurance will not be enough, I think.
You got me. We will be back
Okay.
to finish this.
Okay, that was not so bad. I think he didn't have a really impressive starting end, because no Purity for a while, no first wave. So he couldn't protect himself. And I think he did a mistake also to face bash me in the first turns. which I think I would have done too if I was not playing Nomus Rhy'tan. Because I know what salamanders are able to do, but when you're not aware, it's really surprising to be killed from more than 10 HP or something like that with them. So here we're going to play Devotion, I think. So he plays Caradozo. I played him also, but more control than him, I think, because he played Nissa Scout. So where me, I was trying maybe to get more vehicles or things like that. I guess he's going to try more on a buff-oriented Warlord. I think here I'm going to play Orbital Combat, or maybe not actually. I'm going to play Void Engagement and the Chaplain. Like that we get back Survivor 1 on that. I'm going to keep Orbital Combat for of Cardinal or Armor or even We Know the Weak. This Nissa Scout buffed is really annoying though. Oh, okay, maybe not so much. Now I'm going just to Melgator in, I think. Double trade that with Lord Malchial and Orbital Combat because of Fall of Cardinal. Like that, I'm sure he doesn't do it this turn. Plus he has a shield, so it would have been really annoying to lose the Warlord. All of that to just take out his counter attack. So on Deathfire, if I'm not wrong, we lost the Chaplain, one Succor, and Malchial. I'm not sure it's worth for now. Not in this matchup, maybe. Maybe I want to get one Epistolary from it. But if I do Epistolary, I don't do a really impressive turn, I think. Same with the Disciple. I think I'm going to Deathfire, but first I'm going to try with that. Because I want to put more troops. But yes, perfect. Exactly for this situation. I didn't want Malchial back. Because he was not really useful and he was still costing... no, he cost 2 energy, so he would have been 0 energy, which is okay, I think. But because of Fall of Cardinal, or this kind of AoE, we prefer Survivor in general. Okay, so here we're going to play Epistolary. I think we're going to play also Benevolence of him to get the trigger on Sacrifice. And yeah, simply like that, I think. Survivor 1 is really annoying here on Melgator. It's really good card now, since his buff for this kind of deck is really crazy. Okay, so we are going to use Orb first. Okay, I think I'm just going to be extremely aggressive here. With only 3 HP, I don't think he will last long, so even if he deals with Epistolary, I should be able to do lethal. I don't see him deal with him plus heal. Okay, it's a bit desperate for me. So I think I'm going to stop here for the games. So I think he's really good now, since his buff really. Before his buff, I was playing some mem decks, but on the 19 games you can see here, the 5 defeats were the 5 games before the buff. So basically now he's really strong. There are also some combos I don't play because it's more of meme, but it's actually it can be cool. You can play that with Vulkan or Nomas. So the concept of the deck is so the deck is not updated, by the way, since the nerf. But the idea is going to use Bond of Kinship to discard your star test. So you're going to use it on when you have 10 cards in hand, like that. When you use it, you have 9. You draw the infantry. You pass back to 10 troops, and the star test is going to be discarded. And since it is discarded, it's going to be sent in the cemetery. It's not worded anywhere, but it means you're going to be able to resurrect him with resilience. And we're going to use only 3 star tests, so the 3 best one at energy and obviously Forge Father. And on the idea, if everything goes right, you use resilience on 5 energy and you get Forge Father on 5 energy too. And you can resurrect several in a row. Vulkan is better for that because you can get more resilience, and he is also more bulky, so he is more control-ish like playstyle. That's why the deck is more slow in general. I don't think it's very powerful, but on the idea it's kinda nice to use some weird combo like that, plus use his new card. And yes, teaching are better than draw in general for this kind of deck, I think. Especially the 5 HP Vulkan has more than Nomas Rhy'tan. That's pretty all for that. So that's it, and thanks for watching, and see you soon.